Good evening. I'm standing at the War Memorial in the grounds, just short of the grounds of Swinton St Margaret's Church. The War Memorial is a fine design. It's actually called the Cross of Sacrifice, and it was designed by an architect called Sir Reginald Bloomfield. If you look up at the War Memorial, you can see it combines the sword of the warrior with the Christian cross. It was unveiled in 1921 after the First World War. This weekend we've been celebrating the 75th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day, VE Day, 8th of May 1945. I hope you've had an enjoyable weekend so far, but we must remember the true cost of war and the price that Swinton citizens paid in that war. Men and women from Swinton served in every branch of the armed forces and also in many other roles as well, not least in industry, the coal mines, in transport, working on the land and many other essential occupations which ensured victory. There are 53 victims of World War II, military victims, 53 military victims. 48 of them are commemorated on Swinton's War Memorial. 5 others are commemorated elsewhere. I'm going to take you through, and I hope you do stay with me, I'm going to take you through each of our Second World War casualties which are commemorated on the War Memorial. I'm going to give you brief details of their names, their ages, what units they were in, and their date of death and means of death. We have photographs for some of them, but not all of them. So when I do have a photograph, I'll show you that photograph and maybe speak a little bit more about that individual. It does not diminish the others, so we don't have photographs, but that's a little bit of extra information. So we're going to start and look at the War Memorial, and I will give you their names. Clifford Donald Airy, leading aircraftsman. He was 20 years of age in the Royal Navy. He was killed in action 14th of May 1944 on the HMS Shah, an aircraft carrier. Harry Bailey, able seaman, 21 years of age, Royal Navy. He was killed in action on the 27th of July 1943 on a landing craft Tank 108. George Bainbridge, 29 years of age, private, East Yorkshire Regiment 4th Battalion, killed in action 3rd of August 1944. It's noted he was a prisoner of war. Harry Barnes, private, Queen's Royal West Surrey Regiment, 1st 6th Battalion, killed in action 27th of October 1942. Frank B, private, 24 years of age, King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry, the Coilies, the 1st Battalion, killed in action 22nd of January 1944. Sidney Bell, private, 20 years of age, York and Lancaster Regiment, Hallamshire Battalion. He was killed in action on the 3rd of May 1940 off the coast of Norway. This is a photograph of Sidney Bell. He lived at Crossland Street in Swinton. He's my family cousin. He was a railwayman and he was a territorial. He went in early. He died off the coast of Norway when his ship was sunk by a German bomber, and he was lost at sea with no known grave. So moving on to Rennie Bradshaw, a private, 18 years of age in the Green Howards, the 2nd Battalion. He was killed in action the 6th of August 1944 in Normandy. Lived at Brookfield Avenue. George Henson Brown, Sergeant Pilot, killed in action 9th of October 1943. He was in the RAF Volunteer Reserve 51 Squadron. Frederick Bullock, leading aircraftsman, 22 years of age. He died of wounds 22nd of November 1942, Royal Air Force Voluntary Reserve. James Calderbank, sapper, 34 years of age, Royal Engineer, 25th of the 7th, 1945. So in VE Day, he was killed. After VE Day, he was still fighting in the Far East against determined enemy. So he saw VE Day and was killed in action in July 1945. Sidney Frederick Callier, private, 28 years of age. Killed in action, 14th of October 1943. It's also noted he was a prisoner of war. He was a 2nd Battalion, Duke of Wellington's Royal Regiment. Henry Demain Claydon, leading seaman, Royal Navy. HMS Wasp, he was a motor torpedo boat. He was killed in action on the 13th of May 1942. Charles Cox, driver, 33 years of age, Royal Army Ordnance Corps. 28th of August 1945, he died of malaria, again a Far East victim. Walter Cowles, gunner, 28 years of age, Royal Artillery, 88th Battery, 67th Heavy Anti-Aircraft Regiment, killed in action, 23rd of June 1944. Wilfred Crummock, private, 43 years of age, King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry, 1st Battalion, 28th of April 1940, killed in action. Walter Britford Dew, Corporal, 26, Duke of Wellington's Regiment, 7th Battalion, also known as the Polar Bears. He was killed in action on the 17th of April 1945. Sidney Harold Drakeford, a coder, aged 29 years, Royal Navy. He was killed in action in the Arctic on the 23rd of March 1945 on HMS Lapwing. We've got a photograph of Sidney Drakeford here. His family had a shop in Swinton on Bridge Street. He's there on the left on leaving in London. He died in the Arctic convoy sunk by a German submarine. George Draper, Sergeant, aged 23, of the Royal Artillery, 78th Anti-Tank Regiment, died of his wounds on the 15th of September 1942. Samuel Drower, aged 21, leading aircraftsman, RAF Volunteer Reserve, 2744 Squadron. He was killed in action on the 13th of September in 1944. Jeff Eagle, trooper, 25 years of age, Royal Armoured Corps, 1st Lothian and Borders Regiment, killed in action 26th of November 1941. J.W. Elliott, a corporal, aged 37. He served in the Australian Infantry, the 2nd 22nd Battalion, and he died on the 1st of July 1942. Thomas William Elliott. He was a ferry pilot, aged 21 years of age. I do apologise.
J.W. Elliott.
Okay, sorry, I do apologise. Thomas William Ferry, private, 21 years of age, West Yorkshire Regiment, 1st Battalion, killed in action on the 15th of March 1945. Cyril Haig, he was a sergeant pilot, aged 23 years of age. He died of his wounds, 604 Squadron. He died of wounds on the 25th of August 1940. Another pilot, Sidney Heald, 34 years of age, RAF pilot. He was killed in action, 26th of November 1943, 61 Squadron of Bomber Command. Walter Hibbert, private, 20, 26th of May 1940, killed in action. He served in the Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders, the 1st Battalion. Harold Hobson, a gunner, 22 years of age, Royal Artillery, died of wounds on the 7th of October 1942. He served in the 176th Battery of the 63rd Heavy Anti-Aircraft Regiment. Sidney Hodgkinson, a sergeant, aged 36 years, RAF Volunteer Reserve. He served in 49 Squadron Bomber Command. He was killed in action on the 6th of October in 1944. Harry Reginald Hollins, Flight Sergeant, aged 21 years of age, Royal Air Force Voluntary Reserve, killed in action 6th of March 1945. He served in the 12th Ferry Unit and he was a pilot. George Hullock, private, 24, Royal Scots 1st Battalion. He died on the 4th of April 1943, killed in action. Frederick William Kirby, Lance Corporal, 37 years of age, a Royal Engineer. He was killed in action on the 5th of April 1945. He served in the 807 Road Construction Company. Wilfred Lockwood, able seaman, aged 20 years, Royal Navy, killed in action on the 7th of March 1943. He served on the Empire Light tanker. Cecil Machin, Lance Bombardier, 26 Royal Artillery, killed in action 11th of June 1944. He was in the 11th Field Regiment. Edward Arthur Makin, Sergeant, aged 36, Royal Corps of Signals. He was a dispatch rider. He died of his wounds on the 13th of August 1944. Joseph Mapplebeck, a driver aged 24 years of age. He was a Royal Army Ordnance Corps driver attached to the Royal Artillery. He was noted as killed in action on the 11th of December 1944. He was also noted as a prisoner of war. Frank Mason, pilot observer aged 26, 207 Squadron. He served in the RAF Volunteer Reserve, killed in action 14th of October 1941. John Moore, Sergeant, 23 years of age, RAF Volunteer Reserve, 104 Squadron, killed in action 13th of May 1944. Alice Metcalf, a female soldier, private aged 20, ATS. She was attached to the 537 battery of heavy anti-aircraft artillery. She died on the 8th of September 1943. She died of an illness. This is a photograph of Alice. This is Alice Metcalf, buried in Swinton churchyard. Lived on Brookfield Avenue, a large family. Our female casualty. She died in military hospital in Catterick. Moving on. Douglas Parson, sapper, aged 20 years, Royal Engineers. Is a 580 Army Troops Company. He died on the 16th of July 1941. William Phillips, Lance Sergeant, aged 27 years, served in the Royal Artillery, 257 Battery of the 65th Field Regiment. He died on the 5th of June in 1946. William Phillips. I have a photograph of William Phillips. This is William Phillips on his wedding day, with Swinton Hall in the background where the wedding reception was held. He's also buried in Swinton churchyard. He died of his wounds, of his illnesses, war-related illness and wounds in Montague Hospital. Samuel Purcell, driver, aged 38, Royal Engineers, 107 Field Company, killed in action 29th of May 1940. Ronald Pycroft, Airman 2nd Class, aged 22 years of age, Royal Air Force. He died of his wounds on the 20th of September 1940. George Wilfred Pycroft, a sapper, aged 27 years, Royal Engineers, 686 General Construction Company, killed in action on the 6th of September 1943. Samuel Thomas Sands, a fireman. He was in the Merchant Navy. He served on the SS Reynolds. He was killed in action on the 31st of October 1942, a Merchant Navy seaman. Wilfred James Sims, Corporal, 27 years of age, Green Howard 7th Battalion, killed in action 7th of July 1944. William Spate, able seaman, aged 19 years, the Royal Navy, HMS Hussar, 27th of August 1944, was killed in action. Wilfred Trevor Taylor, Lieutenant, 23 years of age, Royal Corps of Signals, killed in action 12th of April 1943. And finally, Stanley Vickers, able seaman, aged 22 years of age in the Royal Navy. He was killed in action on the 8th of June 1940. He served on the HMS Glorious, an aircraft carrier. We have a photograph of Stanley. This is Stanley Vickers in his civic clothing. The whole squadron was lost on the HMS Glorious. He, along with over 1,500 of his comrades, lost his life on that day. In conclusion, we have 5 names who are not commemorated on Swinton War Memorial. They are commemorated elsewhere, but we must remember them. Kenneth Dudley Barker, David Beresford Barnett, William Henry Grint, Samuel Prince, Leslie Ernest Webb. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them. Thank you.